Hello, lovelies. I don't know if that's gonna I want you to be able to hear me. This is Chrissy Cooking at Home. I'm Chrissy. So today I am making hearty hamburger stew soup thing. Something I usually throw in the crock pot. We're going to do a big old batch in my stock pot, the big red one. And we're going to see how it does canning up. Fingers crossed. I think the only thing I didn't get was my vinegar to wipe the jars. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Okay, vinegar. I like to have it ready. In my stock pot, I have 3 pounds of ground beef. Okay? I'll just put that there for now. With the ground beef, I put in 2 medium to large-ish yellow onions. So I got that cooking. We're going to add some, if you've seen my channel, if you've seen any of them, we're going to add some witch's grade poison, aka kosher salt. Where's the measuring spoon? I know I got out measuring spoons. So I'm making a bigger batch. Here they are. Hiding. We're just going to do 1 tablespoon of kosher salt. Get that in there with the raw meat and the raw onion. That's it for that. No more kosher salt. Okay. Moving on. We have rosemary. And this is like, I'm going to use the mortar and pestle. This is big leaves of rosemary. We're going to do 1 tablespoon because it is such a big, they are such big pieces. Almost out. Okay. 1 tablespoon. Rosemary leaves. Just gonna grind it up a little bit with our mortar and pestle. This is marble. Don't know how long I've had it. Maybe 20 years. For many years, we used it to crush Georgie's medications to put through his feeding tube. Because we kept breaking pill crushers. They would just break. So eventually, I gave up my mortar and pestle and we used that. So after Georgie passed, I cleaned it real good and I've been using it ever since for cooking. Okay. Rosemary in. Yeah, parsley, dried parsley. Doing 2 tablespoons of that, also known as finely ground raven's claw. Okay, do the big one. Basil, 2 teaspoons. May or may not do oregano, I don't know. No idea. Black pepper, 1 teaspoon. You can use the fresh stuff if you want. I don't feel like grinding. Granulated garlic, you can use fresh if you want. I just don't feel like using the garlic press. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons granulated garlic. Because like I said before many times in other videos, we love garlic in this house. And then a tablespoon of onion powder. Okay. We're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon red pepper flakes, crushed red pepper flakes. Just a little something. You can leave it out. That's the great thing about recipes is you don't have to follow them to a T. You can leave out herbs and seasonings you don't like. Paprika, sweet paprika, not smoked. And we're going to do a tablespoon. Then we have some soy sauce. We're going to put that in a little bit. I can get it open. Am I trying to open the right side? Yeah. Okay. And then we have bay leaves. What else do we have here, Chrissy? Let's see. We have 1 store-bought can diced tomatoes, 2 jars, pint jars, home canned diced tomatoes. So that would be like 3 store-bought ones. We got 2 pints of tomato sauce. So that would be, you get those little 8-ounce ones, that'd be like 4 or 5 of them. I really swear those don't have 8 ounces in them. Anyways, cut green beans. I don't have any home canned anymore, so we're using store-bought. 2 cans in the juices, do not drain. Then we have 1 can yellow corn in the juices, do not drain. 1 can of tomato paste. I have over here in my little colander 2 jars of home canned Great Northern beans. You can use any bean you want, or you can leave it out. But yeah, I used my home canned northern beans. I just drained them. And then we have in my big bowl, come here, we have some about 4 cups of chopped potato, 1 red bell pepper. Okay, I threw them in a bowl together because they're going to go in at the same time, so it didn't matter. I just wanted them prepped and ready, so you didn't hear me yammering on while I chopped everything. And then we also have 4 cups beef broth. You can use, what I'm using is actually water and bouillon, and my hair is crazy today. Crazy. Sorry, using you the mirror. The pot. We have the meat taken away. You can see all the seasonings we added. You can see the onions. Remember, it's 2. In my pressure canner, I have my jars with some water warming up. They're already clean. They're just warming up. Hot. Oh, sugar. Duh, Chrissy. We need a tablespoon of sugar. White granulated sugar is what I'm using. Smells good already. Stirring it. I need a better stock pot. This thing's just, the more I use it, the more the stuff sticks to the bottom. I've had this forever, like 13 years. Right after I moved to New York, I got it. And I barely used it. It was just me and my sweetheart. And then Logan came along, and it was still, just the 3 of us. I didn't really need to use it very often. Now that I'm canning, I'm using it a lot more often. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar. One of these would be handy. The little rubber scraper, the small ones from Paper Shop. So let me stir in that sugar. Oh, let's not set fire to nothing today. I'm sorry, my camera is just not at the right angle. You just see me kind of. But I am stirring the meat with the onion and the seasonings. Now I'm hoping to get 6 to 7 quarts. And then if there's anything left over, dinner. Okay. Now that the meat is 90% cooked or so, we're going to start adding stuff. So in first, potatoes, red bell pepper. I need a bigger pot. Okay. The potatoes I used, I didn't tell you, is white potatoes. Just white potatoes. That's all they were. The skins are very thin, so I didn't peel them. Use whatever potato you want. Peel the skin, don't peel the skin, whatever suits you. I'm going to stir that in. Like I said, normally this is something I do on the crock pot. I have 3 pounds of ground beef in here. I usually use about 3/4 of a pound to a pound. So now we're going to add our broth or bouillon mixed with water. You know, when you cook something in the crock pot, a lot of juices come out and make it a little thinner. So I'm hoping that that's going to be enough broth, but we'll see. Big chunks of tomatoes. Sauce. I mean, it is a stew, so it's thicker than soup, but I still want it, you know, to have some soup-like consistency. Okay, I'm gonna stir that in and then see if usually I don't drain my vegetables, but this might be overflowing again. Alright, we're going to start with tomato paste. A whole little, what, 6-ounce can? Usually with my crock pot I do like a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Those get rinsed for later. Oh, the beans. Stir in the beans. You can use store canned beans, you know, or leave them out, you know, whatever. It's getting really full, guys. Okay, there's 1 can of green beans. Really full. I think this is going to be a to the brim. Oh, it just looks so good. I love this stew. You know what? We're going to drain the corn. Right in the same colander I used to drain the beans. There. I like using corn in recipes, but Logan hates it. So I'm kind of doing less in this than, you know, because it was like 1 whole can for my crock pot recipe. So, you know, if I'm tripling it, it should be 3 of them. But I digress. This looks like a good mixture. Just trying to make sure that tomato paste got stirred in well. Let's bring it over. We can get a good look. See? Okay. Doesn't that look yummies? Okay, next, soy sauce. Now, what do you think that was? About 2 tablespoons or so. I got 4 bay leaves, which I may can up or I may pick out. A couple of them are really tiny. I might pick out when I open the jar. Who knows? Alright, I'm going to let this come up to a boil. I'm not going to worry about the potatoes cooking all the way. The pressure canning will take care of that. Doesn't it look fantastic? I can't taste it yet because I put all this in before the ground beef was completely cooked. So I'm going to let it come up to a simmer and then taste it, and I'll bring you back. Okay, the stew has simmered for about 15 minutes. I'm ready to start jarring it up. So I think we're going to have plenty to jar up and dinner, I think. So we'll see. Hot, 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 hot. All right, 7. Let's get this party started, shall we? I know this is the fun part, watching me jar it up. Giving it a good stir with my wooden spoon. Hopefully I don't splash it on this tank top. I love this tank top. Apron's in the wash. But I wanted to get this done before the ground beef went bad. We're going to do a 1-inch headspace. And then we're going to process these quarts for 90 minutes. So we're going to, bring it up to where it's steaming through the hole. I'm going to vent it for 10. And then after that, I'm going to process for 90 minutes. Once my weight starts rattling, 90 minutes at 15 pounds of pressure. Just splashing this everywhere. I don't care as long as I don't splash it on me. Now, what I'm doing is scraping the bottom up because I don't want one jar to have all the tomato broth way overfilled. And then the rest of the jars have just the meat and vegetables and not much tomatoey broth. We'll fix that one in a minute, don't worry. I know right where my gravy ladle is at. Guess I can't talk and do 2 things at once. Or talk and do another thing at the same time, which would be 2 things. However you want to look at it. Give it a little stir with the wooden spoon. Smells amazing. So it's thicker than your average hamburger vegetable soup. But it's similar. I think it's similar. Definitely have enough for 7 quarts. Could probably do an 8th one, but my canner only holds 7 quarts at a time. Regular mouth quarts. All right, that one's perfect. Get that potato down in there. I don't want to measure the potato. Okay, that one's perfect. That one's perfect. Get the potato down in there. That one's perfect. Perfect. This one definitely looks overfilled. Yep, no, it's perfect. So let's scoop. Now this is not fully cooked yet. It'll finish cooking when it's in the canner. So these potatoes are still raw. Perfect. This is a childhood favorite of mine. Seriously. No joke. I splooshed it all over my jars and magnet. All right, distilled white vinegar. Clean those edges. Make sure you don't have any nicks. These are brand new jars. I just got them from the Dollar General. I'm not a fan. They feel so thin and delicate. But as long as they seal, I won't gripe too much. As long as they don't break, especially with first time usage, I won't gripe too much. I thought it was a little overpriced for Dollar General brand instead of, you know, even like Golden Harvest. It's 4 for $6. That just felt a little much. All right. Trying a new brand of lids. My girlfriend sent me a link to a super coupon for these canning lids where I got 96 for 11 bucks. If I have to return them, I'll return them. Hot. Hopefully, I don't have to return them. I'm gonna get the flame back on this because we're gonna eat the rest here for dinner. Hot. I'm just going to kind of rinse a couple of these off. So I got hot water coming on. Okay, that was not hot water, that was cold water. Do not want to do that. I don't want to shock them. There we go. There. All right, everybody's in the party. Everybody's at the party. So I'm gonna put the lid on it. Turned it up to 1 notch above medium because I have high, medium, low, and then notches. What is it? 3 notches between medium and high, 3 notches between medium and low. I didn't use all my paper towels. I can save those. Okay, this has got to get washed. In there. Okay, I'm going to get everything cleaned up. I'm going to get resting until it's time to time it for venting. And then after that, I will put my weights on. 15 pounds pressure for my altitude. Check your altitude. See if you need like 10 pounds instead. Because I am above 1,000 feet. And then I'm going to process it for 90 minutes. Okay. So I'll bring you back when it's all done, probably already washed and labeled and all that hoopla. Okay? Till then. Here it is. Hamburger stew. Got the jars all cleaned and labeled. So there it is. All ready to go. I packed up 2 and one of them didn't seal, so I refrigerated it. We are rolling. It's good. Give it a try sometime. Till next time.